Okay. Okay. Hello? Yes. I'm on the phone. Can I call you back? Yeah. All right. This is just a test, just testing out the live streaming capability and add this overlay to the encoder. All right. Don't know what that means. Share screen. Let's see here. What do we have? Oh, there it is right there. Share to that. Aha. Well, I'll be darned. Okay, now let's test this out. This is the test, people. So just let me know if you're here and you see the video. I'm trying to figure out an easier way to live stream not using OBS. And I don't like StreamYard. It kind of sucks. Let's see, minimize. Okay, that's not anything significant there. Okay. If you can hear the mic, let me know if you hear the mic. And then also if you can see the video. So this is pretty crappy. And I don't think without paying money that you can do much along the lines of sharing video screens. So that really sucks. So let's get rid of that and jump back over to the YouTube window. All right, so what do we have here? Oh, well, look at that. I've got two screens at one. Okay, so no video, but you have sound. Do you see video now? So it's a black screen. That is odd. Let me look on my YouTube and see what's here. I just absolutely am frustrated with figuring out what live streaming to use. What's the live streaming platform to use? And I see right here. Okay, so you can see me. Do you see two video screens or do you see one? Because I've got this thing set to share to live to StreamYard. And what I see on my screen is a box here and another box there where it's repeating the same stupid thing. Okay, so there's two. Well, let me try to see how you turn this off. I'm going to turn this off, stop sharing. Okay, now tell me if you just see one screen. Okay, one in the middle on the bottom right is still there. Did that disappear? Tell me if that disappeared. Okay, now it's down to one. So when I'm live streaming straight through not Facebook, when I'm not using the stupid StreamYard, which StreamYard is just garbage to me. I'm trying to figure out what is the easiest way that I can jump on and then also use some other service to pull in video clips and pictures instead of going through OBS. Because the thing is, OBS is a lot of trouble. It's clunky, it's junky, it's very good, it's complex, but there's just too many options, too much stuff going on, and it's just hard to just jump straight on and get a live stream going. And so that's why I'm thinking maybe we just go to this, and if I can find some other uh, program besides OBS, it's a lot simpler and not StreamYard, then I'll go to using that. So now we're down to just the one screen, and I don't see much else that we can do as far as options because it just doesn't offer that right here on the straight live stream. So that's it. So let me give you the update on what's going on with the channel, and then the test will be done. So I can see that people see we got some great folks. All the goodies are in here. Grandpa Leroy is there. I see expiration date is here. We've got who else? Oh boy, this is good. This is good. Expiration date, Grandpa Leroy. I'm only seeing two people. Stephen R. Okay, I see Stephen R is in the house. So we've got 5 people viewing. Hit the like button if you see this all. So we're trying to fix the channel so that we have the YouTube algorithm serve up the videos to the whole subscriber base, because right now I have 9,800 subscribers. And whenever I post videos that are not on the Dalton and Tiffany Henyard topic, nobody gets an alert. And so out of 9,800 people, we might have 10 or 20 that even get notified that a video is there. Even when you have the notification bell ticked, you don't get informed of the video. So we're trying to break out of that box and do general topics, new hot topics like what's going on in Chicago with the whole National Guard situation and Brandon, the jackass Johnson, the 10% approval rating mayor fighting against Donald Trump, and Boss Hog Pritzker, J.D. Boss Hog Pritzker, fighting against Donald Trump. And we're talking about the corruption in the city of Chicago. And I'm working on rolling out the video that shows you why the mayor and even the governor of Illinois, they don't want to knock down the crime. Okay. And it's going to be pretty shocking. And it's because Chicago is the most corrupt city in the United States. It's worse than New York City. So we're going to talk about that. I want to get into some more cities, jump out to California, New York City, and covering the whole mom dummy running for mayor. I tell you what, New York City is ready to go full on communist / socialist. That will be interesting. I want to talk about Houston and Dallas, jump down to Texas. I want to cover what's happening in the state of California. I've got a young lady who used to work at KRCG TV 13 in Jefferson City. And when I owned one of my previous businesses, I had a phone repair business. And when I was doing commercials and live updates and reports, KRCG would come by, and one of the reporters is now really breaking out on the national scene. And she is the top dog reporter in the entire state of California and has several times had the opportunity to do interviews with the ding dong governor of the state of California, Gavin the Greasehead Newsom, Greasy Newsom, Greasy Gruesome Newsom. And that just happens to be Ashley Zavala. So Ashley is, in my opinion, going to be the next big thing in conservative news reporting. She's amazing. She's totally amazing. Okay, so expiration date says, I do get the alerts, but the corruption upsets my health, so I've had to stop. I don't blame you there. I mean, I've had to mute a lot of people on Facebook and just turn off people's posts that are just kind of going crazy. And one thing that I have come to understand is that you cannot change the minds of the people who are severely Trump deranged. You can't argue with people against their belief system. You just can't. And so instead of trying to argue back and forth with people that have Trump derangement syndrome, that are completely brainwashed by the radical left, all we can do is continue to support the politicians that will fight for our true freedoms, right? And then we can talk about why people are brainwashed, why they're Trump deranged, why they just completely see the world in a completely different viewpoint, where you have two people in the same area. One thinks that we're under dictatorial regime control. The other one thinks that this is not, there's no other better time to be free than right now. And I'll be explaining the psychology of that while encouraging you to stay out of the arguments with people about the Trump administration. Okay. And there's two sides to every coin. If you're looking for information to upset you and to think that, say, like Charlie Kirk, for example, is racist, misogynist, homophobe, all that crazy stuff, then you're going to find it. If you're looking for the good from Charlie Kirk, you're going to find it. And so I've watched him for 10 years, and I can disagree on things and I can agree on things. And overall, I think that he has done great things, tremendous things for free speech, right? And while I'd love to have been able to have the opportunity to debate on things that I disagree with him, I still think he's an okay person. But there are those who think that he's the worst person on planet Earth and is a racist and, fill in the blanks. but that's because of the belief system and from the viewpoint that they're coming from, and you're not going to change that. You have to let it go. You have to let it go. You're not going to stop. Let's say, for example, my mother-in-law's church, they were talking about how Charlie Kirk claimed that black women aren't smart enough to be on the Supreme Court, not based in fact of watching the videos, but what they heard, because they don't want to watch those videos. And so you're not going to change your mind. You got to just leave it alone and just be a voice for whatever good that can be, right? You're not going to get them to go and watch Charlie Kirk to see what he was really saying. You have to walk away from that and leave it alone. And that's all we can do. And so for your own sanity, you have to know when you are fighting against a belief system that is in that's immutable, unmovable, because your belief system is established when you're like 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old. 99% of people, it's done. You're not going to change it. Once you are raised, let's say you were raised Catholic, all right, by the time you're 5 years old, the chances are slim to none that that's ever going to change. If you're raised as a Muslim, by the time you're 5, 6 years old, the chances of that changing are slim to none. You can't unroot the belief system of a person, and that belief system creates the reality that they live in. So that's why you can have a person that lives down the street from me that has this big banner and it says truth, democracy, and I know it says freedom, democracy, and truth. And that stands for FDT and blank Donald Trump. That's what he's saying. So he's Trump deranged. And he has banners that say, fight whatever, or, he's completely thinking that we're living under siege, where I'm loving it. Okay. And so we live in the same neighborhood, but he thinks that we're under siege and living in a dictatorship. There's nothing I can do to change that person's opinion. Okay. I got to just drive by and look at the banners he flies outside of his house and say, oh, well, if you want to live miserable like that, that's up to you. Now, while Joe Biden was in office, I was in disagreement with probably 80% of everything he did, but you didn't see me flying banners and rage posting on Facebook talking about democracy is over, blah, blah, blah. I'm still running my businesses, making money, enjoying life, and having a good time, because that's my belief system. I'm 58 years old. I've lived through how many administration changes? I've voted all over the spectrum. I voted for Slick Willie once. I voted for Barack Obama once. I voted for the Green Party. I voted for against Bush 1 and for Bush 2. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. Okay, so even though you don't always get what you want, life goes on, and I'm still going to maximize my life based on what the current laws and rules that are in place. So yes, expiration date says you will never change his mind, and that's true. And so all we can do is live our best life and take advantage of the rules and the laws that present themselves at the moment, right? Okay. And so while there's a lot of people that say the poor and the downtrodden will never make it, I say, hey, there's plenty of poor and downtrodden people that have started with nothing and become multimillionaires. So then I teach people how to find that pathway to success, no matter who's in the office of the presidency, no matter what political party is in control. Okay. So you can shine a light in the world, or you can be a creature of the darkness that is here to bring the dark clouds and rain on people's parades. And I just choose to be the one that is going to shine a light. All right. So maybe that's the way that we can cover events where it's not upsetting and triggering. Okay. Where we can just talk about, well, what are the reasons why people believe the way they do? Like in the last videos I posted, I talked about the Chicago situation. And, when you talk about things like defund the police, there's a lot of people that get upset about that because they think the Black community is all Black Lives Matter and defund the police. And that's not true. So then I talked about a poll that shows that 77% of Black people are for the police. Okay. They're not even in that whole camp that believes that police are bad. Okay. And so while we look at the people that think defund the police, get rid of all the police, instead of letting that be such an upsetting thing, we try to find out, well, what's behind their belief and what's behind being against the police? Well, it's because of their political brainwashing. So Mayor Brandon Johnson, the jackass, has brainwashed the people, and so has Boss Hog Pritzker into thinking that the police are bad. Uh, and that we just need more federal money. And when you live under that and you were raised to trust Democrats, well, of course, you're going to fall in line with that. And you're going to think that the police are bad. All right. And so we don't want to vilify those people because they're scared. They truly are scared. They truly do think that the police are there to crack down on them or to focus on violating the civil rights of Black people. But 77% of the Black people in the community think the police are there to protect their way of life and to make neighborhoods safe. And that's a positive thing. Okay. So we can't lash out and just start this fight that will never be solved, but we can shine a light on the positives instead. Okay. So let's see here. What is a very sore subject with you, expiration date? Let me know what that topic was. Yeah, you are never too old to learn. That is very, very true. So while I'm trying to get this dadgum YouTube algorithm to rediscover the channel and to start pushing things out, uh, we'll just have to keep cranking it out. And I'll ask you to just share with a friend because we got to rebuild the whole base. I mean, of the 9,800 people, it's probably 80%, 90% Democrats that just didn't like Tiffany Henyard. And maybe I've got a few hundred that are really here for the political reporting. Okay. So we got to start from the jump. We got to start over. Okay. The police. Yeah. I have a lot of military folks in my family. I have a lot of friends and got a couple folks that grew up with my kids that are police officers. Okay. And so there is a lot of positive out there. I've got a very good friend that was a police officer in Chicago, and now he's a highway patrolman. He was even on security detail with the secret police for the Republican National Convention. All right. So he's been right there with President Donald Trump. And I've learned a lot from him. And I can tell you many stories about what the challenges are for law enforcement officials and tell you a lot of positive that we are seeing change that is taking place and kind of changing the whole direction that the country is going with our attitude towards the police. So he says several people have lost a ton of subs when Miss Tiff stopped her antics. Yes. Yeah, a lot of people did. I'm only down like maybe 10 subs, which is pretty cool. Dr. Strange is in the house. What's up, Doc? Good to see you, man. Glad you are here. And I'm going to be doing a lot of topics that Jason Black of the Black Authority covers. I agree with the majority of what he says. And I like his balanced view where he can be against certain things or he can kind of focus on the different aspect of Charlie Kirk. And I understand where he's coming from because he explains why. And a lot of times I can say, hey, even if I disagree with Jason Black, he lets me know why. And I give him a sense of understanding for that. And man, oh man, one thing I like about the Black Authority channel is that he is not stumping for the Democrats for sure. And he's not stumping for the Republicans. He doesn't like them all. And he's just trying to stand up for the Black community and saying that, hey, we're sitting back waiting for something to change where a politician actually keeps some promises instead of luring the Black people in with what they're going to do for our community and then getting in office and doing nothing. So I kind of like the fact that he's against them all. I like that. Yeah, I'd like to hear some of your stories, expiration date. I absolutely share with me some stories. Send me an email and maybe I'll do a show on some of the stories that you have to tell. So we're going to keep on plodding on and rebuild and broaden the audience and move to different cities. I definitely want to tell you stories from St. Louis. I told you one story about the hands up, don't shoot lie that almost cost my family's business to get burnt down to the ground. Okay. And that was the Black community coming out against the police because of the Mike Brown fiasco. And then my cousin, who was an alderman and a Democrat, the mob shows up and they wanted to burn the business down. And I explained why. It was mob mentality. Okay. Gone wrong. But that video didn't get a lot of views. You know, I would have thought that, boy, that would break out big time to hear about how the hands up, don't shoot thing when the Black Lives Matter thing really kicked off big, how it didn't make logical sense. It was a mob mentality movement based on a lie, and how it came up against an actual black leader of the Democratic Party and almost spelled disaster for a black owned business, our whole plaza. We almost lost it all. So we'll just have to continue telling stories and reporting on the good things, and talking about the critical issues that affect us all, and depending on you to spread the word. And then I'll try to do more live streams like this. I can live stream from my phone really easily, and then I can live stream, maybe just sit here right in front of the camera without anything fancy. So if you would like, I can live stream like this and not worry about all the fancy crap and sharing the screen, because like I can do a report. I've got a whole report on reparations. And this is something that a lot of people, you got the for and against folks, but nobody is hitting it from the center and telling the truth on it. Okay. The majority of people don't know what reparations even means. They have their ill-conceived notions. And then we have a lot of people who are holding their breath, waiting for reparations to happen. And I'm not holding my breath, and I don't think it'll ever happen. But I'm going to tell you what reparations really is and why it is something that has been done for other communities, but not the Black community, and give you a full report on the history of it so you can have a balanced view of it. And so I could do all of that while reading my notes right off of the screen, and not doing a screen share. And maybe that would be the quickest and easiest way where I can report information to you. So Dr. Strange says, love to come on one day. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how I can do that, as soon as I figure out a way to do it, because the stupid StreamYard is not working. And if I find something that's free, that's easy, that I can do a screen share, I definitely will have you on, Sharif. And you can help me get through some of the reports, like the one that I have that's going to cover reparations. And then I would also like to tell the story, or even have you tell your story about Atlanta and being there in the NFA Army. Okay. I think that would be a cool thing to do if I could have you on for that. So expiration date says, would love to hear it. Do your show the way you're comfortable. I'll do that. I'll keep it simple for now. One big problem I have with the OBS software is that whenever I want to flip from doing a live stream from this channel or doing one from the Crypto Pro channel, I can't flip between different channels because it pulls the wrong thumbnails, the wrong descriptions, it cross threads to the wrong channel, and it's just a pain in the rear end. So I got to figure all that crap out and just see what's the easiest way to go straight up and get that information. And it might just be doing this right here, just like we're doing right now. And then maybe once a week, I'll just go live on, a particular day or a particular night and come at you and get the conversation going. Let me click on here and see if there's anything that you can do fancy from here. I don't think you can. Let's see, Doc, I had you as a moderator on here before, and it just drops off. But anyway, we will play it by ear. Okay, so expiration date says all that crap is the reason I have not started my own show. It is a lot of trouble. I've been trying and figuring. I've been on YouTube for 10, 15 years. Yeah, Doc, so now you're a mod again. It's back again. It's just a lot of rigmarole. It's a lot of trouble. There's just so much crap that you got to do. I'm trying to see if my Stream Deck, let's see, Stream Deck, if it even works. Let me see here. Yay! Does that come through? I'm gonna have to watch and see if the Stream Deck, let me drop a bomb. And then let's see. We got music there. Can you hear the background music? And I don't know if when I use the Stream Deck with this, if it comes through the speakers or through the internal system, or if it's looping back through the microphone. I don't know. So we'll figure that out. Yay! And then use that the next time we do a simple stream. And then the goal will be just get simple. Get simple. See, like my camera right here is not set up where it's supposed to be zoomed in, but you can adjust that when you're not going through OBS. I can't change the background, but oh well, I don't care. You can see the hole in the wall over there where the cable is coming through, and you can see the corner of the room where I don't have the other part of the wall painted. But oh well. Okay, so it is through the mic. That's good to know. Thank you, Leroy. I appreciate that. So I probably won't be able to do the music through there until I figure out a better way to do it. So I'm going to end this now because I got to go teach an exercise class, and I'm going to go live again, possibly even tomorrow, and do the report on the reparations or other stuff. If you have missed any of the recent videos, go back and watch them. Let me just look on here and I'll name for you the recent videos that I have. Okay, let's go to my videos tab. So the most recent one is Shocking Truth Exposed. 77% of the blacks in Chicago favor the police. The one before that was the poll about 300,000 black people in Chicago favoring intervention by the National Guard. Before that, we talked about political memes. Have they gone too far? Then we had the one on the Charlie Kirk fiasco. And the fifth one back was about Chicago getting its wish, turning down the National Guard, how the cartels and the gangs remain in full control. So that is it. Thank you. Expiration date. I will keep it simple. That is good. And I'll keep on tweaking. So until the next time, thanks for tuning in with the update on the channel. I appreciate all of you guys. And big shout out to Angie RN. She gave a couple of super thanks, one of $2 and another of $5. And Angie, I never did shout you out for that. I meant to shout you out in the last 4 videos and I keep forgetting. So thank you very much. And last but not least, we need to put an APB out on my first ever subscriber. I haven't seen him in such a long time, and he has been a great supporter from day one. And I don't know where he has gone. I don't know if he's just been busy or what's going on. But anyhow, thank you very much. That's all I got for this one. Peace out, guys. See you soon.